Well, I got that new. Picked this up today. I was just drooling over this old English bike with Nervex lugs and campy dropouts and stuff for $100 up the street, just a frame set. And I keep being like, oh, I'm too broke. I don't really have $100. I can't go get it. But then this bike popped up on Craigslist for $60. That's right. It's too big for me, but I just measured it. It is a 59 to the top here, Japanese style. I really like, usually 58s, 59 is not as bad as I thought. It's got 27 with 1 1/4s on it, and I was really scared it's like a 61. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can safely ride this. I think I can, especially if I go 700 with 32s, and that should give me enough room for fenders. The back, like so many bikes, the back's got enough room and the front's too tight. I was looking, it's got the cool Nervex lugs. It's got a weird seat stay treatment up here. It's super cool. It's got universal 61 center poles, so this is like early 60s. It's got weird hangers, they're not Mayfac. It's got Novo record. It's got Regita 27-inch rims to Novo record hubs, quick releases. The early dog bone style, but they're missing the dog bone. Flat skewers, this is all early, this is all 60s stuff. But it does have French cranks, got strong lights. The weird one that looks like a 49D but isn't, I think it's a 93 or 89 or something, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. Oh, and they're English threaded. I was wondering how he had the old Leotard pedals out. Put these crappy new pedals in. I was really worried if he tapped them or if Leotards weren't English. And so I was asking, it's an Allegro. It's got Stronglight headset, Philippi stem, Nova Record 26.6 seat post, so that's look kind of weird. Nova Record hub, seat post. I don't know if they're Novo Record. They look Novo Record, they're the band. I don't exactly remember all the early campy stuff. But the derailleurs that came on it looked pre-Novo Record. They looked like just record, earlier 60s stuff. He said they were kind of damaged, so we single-speeded it just by taking the derailleur off and cutting the chain short. But this bike's gorgeous. I was asking about it. He was a big bike nerd. He had a few bikes. He had a really nice thick Italian accent, said ciao to his neighbors. It was fucking great. I loved it. He said this bike was perfect for him. He was 6'3". You know, I'm 5'11". I think this bike's about perfect for me, so he probably likes him a little small. I like him a little big. But the bike is cool. He said it's Swiss. So if you're not familiar with Swiss, they're very interesting. So they're making bikes around the same time as the Italians and the French. And they sort of mixed and matched stuff and did stuff weird. So it's French threading, but not thread direction. So the drive side cup is reverse threaded like an English bike, even though it's like technically French threads, which makes these really easy to tap out to English because the threads are already going in the right direction. So it's easy to tap Swiss out to English. I believe I've messed with some Swiss bikes in the past, and they had a weird crown race size and maybe weird cup sizes, so I'm not sure if this is a regular French headset or there's something weird about it because it's a Swiss bike. Hopefully I can just overhaul it and save it, because it's cool and it's vintage and it says Stronglight right on it. It might be a trick to replace. We'll see. I'll go check old Sheldon Brown after this, maybe put up his notes about the difference between French and Swiss. So we're stuck with this stem. The stem's cool. If it's early enough, it might only be 25.0, which might make my life harder. Hopefully it's 25.4, in which case I can put any cruiser bar on I want. It's got a 60 top tube, so the top tube's really long with that nice long stem, and a cruiser bar on this bike, or like a Portour style bar. This bike would be tight. I'll be able to put a Portour rack on it too. It's got a pretty fork rake. It's a little less boring and right in the middle of the blade and a little more Frenchy with a lot of curve at the bottom. This would be a gorgeous winter commuter Portour. Get some used, kind of beat up aluminum fenders. But I gotta decide if I want to use all this old junk. And this paint job, I mean, the paint job's like mostly there and kind of shiny, but it's missing some spots and it's rusty and there's some dings, and you know, I could powder coat this thing. It's got the campy dropouts, I believe. Thick paint hiding them. So I don't know if this paint's original and I replaced the badge, or if it's a repaint from the 80s or something. Let's get the earlier can't be dropped out the little spring tension hole. And the bottom bracket shell is also that way. It's got the hole where you drill and tap for a Zerk fitting, which is cool. I haven't actually looked to see if it's a real Nervex one. I do not believe so. I believe it's a weird Swiss specific one. And it's got play in it. Yeah, there it is. That is a lot of play. So the bottom bracket's going to have to get opened. It's weird in Swiss. Hopefully I can save it. If not, I got my frame builder toolkit. I can do a video on tapping Swiss out to English. I haven't actually double checked that toolkit to make sure it's all English. Like I said it was. My old ones had all the sizes on the side of the tools. This one doesn't. I'm going to have to pull those tools apart and see if the sizes are stamped on the top or something. He did give me these extra parts. Extra parts. It's a standover bike and it is right there. I couldn't stand over. It was any taller and this back tire is flat, so I will have to 700C it. So maybe I got to keep an eye out for some 700C Campy wheels with Nova Record Hub, which is funny because I'm already keeping an eye out for a neighbor's bike. He has a beautiful early Italian all Novo record, like early 70s, late 60s bike that some bike shop decided the hubs or wheels are bad for a reason and decided just to stuff in some modern, cheap, shitty Shimano 10-speed wheels. Just pry that frame open and jam these ugly black wheels in. So uncool. So I'm trying to keep an eye out for the right set of wheels for his bike. And now I might need them for this. But also if I want to do something just filthy and disgusting and ugly and evil, I have that silver Tiago group with the dyno hub. Put it on here, black rims, dyno hub on this 60s Swiss bike. If I did that, I might want to get it repainted. Probably powder coated some cheap. And then I'd probably want to replace the headset and bottom bracket, which I would probably tap it out to English. I probably want to get some Tektros, and I have to find a medium reach with a recessed nut. Not the end of the world, but I don't have them, I think. Maybe get a more modern seat post. Probably stuck with that silver stem, but I could probably polish it up. Or, I mean, we're stuck with a French stem. He specifically said this quill is small. I gotta play with it and Google the Swiss stuff and see if it is small, if it needs a French stem, or if I can use an English stem. A lot of bikes are sloppy, and you can just stick an English stem right in an old French bike, even though you're not supposed to. So it's worth checking. You flop and chop the original bars. Put these interrupters on, so definitely gonna pull this bike apart. I mean, these wheels might be worth too much dough to me. Might even be worth more as just the hubs if they're nice. Or I could, ride it as a crappy 27-inch. Get a used Campy rear derailleur. Leave it a 1x with this giant 46 tooth ring. This bike came, the strong light cranks were ridiculous, so you can tell they're early. They came with a 49 outer and a 46 inner. Thanks a lot, strong light. Super useful. I mean, the freewheel's kind of big. It's a Sun Tour freewheel, so definitely replace. But yeah, I'm going to get some good shots and inlay them of this cool detail on these beautiful lugs. I am going to do that 8-speed Dura Ace build, which is from the 80s, so like 2 decades too late, with 650B and all that stuff. Maybe this is the frame I should do that on, instead of that little Terry. These are already pretty dimpled, but I can check and see if a 650B 38 would fit in there. Could add some canty bosses, or even hard mount studs for raids like a Psycho. Canties would be a lot smarter. Candy bosses, pump pegs, powder coat. Do it real northern cycle style like I would have done back in the day. Could be pretty tight. Probably wouldn't really change anything else. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could change these to split stops and maybe change these guys. Maybe, maybe not. Save this badge. Most of the Velo cowls and places like that made replacement decals for bikes are kind of out of business. You can't really find replacement decals for bikes, especially old cool ones. This headset is hella tight, but maybe savable. He gave me a bag of all the original parts. I was so happy I was going to ask him if he had any. He said this rear derailleur was bent. I don't know what that means to him or me or the dropout, or if there's really a problem with the derailleur or what. But it is the old Grand Sport. I think it's the solid brass one, which is really early. It's got a barrel adjuster I don't recognize. It's got the metal teeth. It's kind of corrody. But I mean, there was a time then these early ones that were all brass would get you real dough on eBay. He's got the right levers, but with later hoods. He's got the leotard pedals. We said they were bent too. So I'd have to look and see. He's got the 49 outer chain ring. Some extra chain. Oh, and something cool. The original Campy down tube shifters. They're missing the inner nut. They're real tight. And they're not open C. But whatever, they'll go on eBay. They're going all over the place on eBay. It's true. This derailleur would be cool. Or you get a Scuffy Novo derailleur at the swap meet. And get a much smaller chainring. Make this thing a 1x city bike. Winter commuter. Keep these 27-inch wheels. Really gotta check these wheels, make sure these hubs are really nice, make sure the rims are true, make sure the spokes aren't frozen. If the wheels are really nice, I might be tempted to use them. And if I did switch it out to the modern Tiagra stuff, I have to respace this frame to 130. It's probably 120. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's double dimpled. It's old. I bet it'll bend pretty easy. Throwing some candy bosses on would be cool. Maybe some lowrider mounts, make it a very sport touring commuter. Also keeping these old campy hubs would be cool if I could stomach the 5-speed and the way too big of chain rings. And it's hard to decide, but I don't have to now. I'll definitely do some follow-up videos on this bike's build. Still might go buy that old Chazé Butler or whatever, because I also have that early 60s PX10 I'm building to a single speed like a sociopath. So why not just buy a bunch of vintage 60s bikes and Nervex lugs like a sociopath and just have 3 bikes that are functionally useless? I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Okay, so never take anyone's word for anything. Got the stem mount, a little stuck, had to whack it out. It's got really thick layers of dried grease, no fresh grease, never been cleaned out. Oh good, this barrel adjuster's broken. Got a Japanese stem. Like, oh, it doesn't fit. Oh, it does fit. Oh, but it's real tight. But it kind of fits and goes down, it's real tight. But it's got real thick, I mean millimeters tall piles of dirt on there from inside. And usually, if you try and put a 22-2 stem down a French steerer, the wedge won't even go down, it hits. So I think I can soak that old grease out, flex hone it, or sand it or clean it out. I might look at a regular English stem in here. That's exciting. First exciting find after I decided to be done filming for the day, and still kept filming for the day. Thanks for watching.